All right. Today I pretty much cover three items. Do we use it all the time? Yes or no? Sometimes you just thinking maybe we don't use it, but you know it, and a lot of the time you will find it is helpful. Now, the first of all, as I mentioned in your Lightroom, the most popular one will be on the top. And then when you go down and less will be the stuff that you really rare you use. Now, when you go all the way down, pretty much goes to like the bottom, there is something called transform. This one. What is this thing? What is this thing doing? Right? Now, for something like this, I'm sure when you're taking photo and then big object, like a big building, like this one, like a building, you're so close, your camera cannot level with the building. There's no way until you use the two-ship lens. I'm not sure I heard about that. You use a two-ship lens, you can correct it. But usually you have something like this. What can you do? There is nothing you can do when you're doing photo shooting. But you can, under post-production, you can correct this thing. But first of all, when you're planning to shoot something like this, you have to shoot it big, get it more outside being where you shoot it. So the tools that I'm using is transform. Again, there is something off. You can see whether it's in the auto and this whatever. And usually I just use auto. And again, the same, when you do auto, see what is the suggestion. Now, seems like it's kind of okay, right? But it's not great. So now you go down there, so let me do something first. I think this way. Yeah, let me make it bigger. Now, when you go down here, you will see vertical. Now, let me reset it. I put off. Now it's off, right? You do vertical. Vertical is just a straight line. Now, when you do left and the right, you see that? You try to pull it, make it like level. Can you see that? Now it is pretty much like a straight line. All right, you pull it, you can see that it's pretty much like. Now when the horizontal, it's just like left and the right. Sometimes you just do it, and then the rotation, rotate it. So now when you do the crop to, you pretty much have the line. You will know that you have the line. Pretty much the guideline, you notice how this looks. Right. This is before, after. Right. So this is under the transform. You can make the photo that it tilts, make it like level. Now, when you see all this white color stuff, because when you rotate it or make the angle or perspective ratio, all kind of stuff. And then there's a lot of the stuff that's missing. So one thing you can use is the contrast cropped. It will automatically crop out the white stuff. See, now you can still do a little bit more. You can see that because this is still a little bit off, right? And that is one of the things, but you can see that we lost quite a bit of the stuff. Now you can look at this photo. Now, if we use auto, so it's not very good. So now you can use the vertical thing. Right? And then to rotate. Again, if you have the constant crop, see, it have the building straight. This is before and after. This is one of the tool that can do this kind of trick. And now, but there are something, sometime when you do auto or when you do all this thing turn, it's not that, sometimes you feel that it's not that great. Now you have to, not sure whether you remember, if you have in here, use the mouse double click, and just let reset. Now what it is, when you hit this, right, you will see that it will tell you, all right, the left-hand side of the line, you just use the mouse to draw a line. And then you say that, oh, my right-hand side is like this. It will automatically get it for you, but if it's horizontal, and you can see that this, and then you cross, see that? It's pretty much cropped it for you. So now you can do this. Now, this is one of the tools that, you can use it for that one. But I can show you one of the best way to use it. Now, if something like this, now let me reset it. Now, when I take a photo of this one, they are totally off because I should, lower it and then make it level and take the picture. But now you can see that now you can use this too. Now you can see the left-hand side and then the right-hand side. And then you see that the top and then the bottom. See, it's automatically line it up for you. You see that? That is one of the quick things. So now if this one, I think, and reset, I'm taking a photo of this and then I go to publish. So you know that it's kind of close, but is that really a good ratio? You can use this. You see that, all right, the left-hand side of this one, the right-hand side, and then the top, and then the bottom. See? And then when you crop it, now I just use the, can you see that? That's pretty good. When you use this tool, it's pretty much line up everything for you. It saves you a lot of time trying to vertical, horizontal, ratio, all kind of stuff. So this tool, you just draw the 4 line, is automatically line up you, and then you can see that how close they are. When you crop it, it's pretty much exact. So it's for something like this. That is the one of the things. So now it is for, let's say, this one. Now I can use this tool. I can say the tunnel. All right, the left-hand side is this one, and the right-hand side is this one. See, and then you can crop, but of course it's not that very good. You can just lower it. You see that? And then you can fine tune a little bit. And I think, is like you could turn. So, and then before is very much off, you can really hold it. So this is the two transform. All right, it's helpful. And when you're shooting like a structure, like a building and everything, something like this, you can see that I just no way I can, you can use this, draw the line, left hand side, right hand side, boom, pretty much. Yeah, and then you just like crop it. See, strike it out for you. All right, this is transform. It's useful. If you are not shooting this building and other things, yeah, maybe you don't use it all the time. Okay. So now then the next thing, when underneath the effect, it's called a vignetting. Vignette. What does it mean by vignette? I can now when you see this is pretty much the lens. Yeah, I can't say there's a problem, right? Because the lens, when you're shooting photo, usually the surrounding is a little bit darker. That's the nature of the lens, because the center pretty much a bright and it's a little bit darker on the outside. So there's a little like a dark ring on the outside of the photo. But a lot of people, they kind of like it. And then that's how, they come it now, like for this photo, sometimes a lot of them, they just do a little bit, right? You can see that I can do a little bit. And then part of the reason is you just like pop out the subject. And then you just feel a little bit better, if a little bit darker on the outside. So that's the purpose of the vignette. But I can see a lot of people, not a lot, I can see one of the guys, he always say, make it like, to me, I just feel like a little bit too much. Hey, maybe different people, they have different tastes. But to me, I just feel a little bit too much. So usually they just a little bit. And you can say that I have a preset. And next time I have a preset, I have a 10%, 20%, and pretty much a 30% is the max I use. Right? I say that 30% is pretty much, Now, and then they just midpoint and then see how to focus it or how to solve it. And then the roundness is how solid you want it. You see that? And it's, usually I just keep it in the center. And then further, it's just how solid you can make it like real solid, right? And then the highlight, I don't know what it is, honestly. I haven't really used it. So pretty much I keep it 0 and I pretty much use this. Now, the other way, if it's a 0, it's a neutral. When you go to plus, become the white color. I think in the 60s, a lot of the portrait photo, they're using this kind of a feature. Right? In the old time, they use it, and for now, they said some people say that, yeah, it's an oldies, and I really rarely see people use it, but yeah, they still use it. So this is the effect. Some of the stuff I use it, and especially like food photography or maybe portrait, I also use it. They put a little bit of the vignette. Those are the couple feature I use, right? So the last thing I'm talking about, and should be useful, is about the watermark, right? So if you export the photo, you can see when you go all the way down, you will see watermark. Now, at the beginning, a lot of the time, I think is Lightroom. They just have a default, just one thing, and you can go all the way down and then call edit watermark. Let's say I have this one, I select, right? Whatever you just pick, and you just go down and hit watermark edit. Now this one come out. Whoa, what is that? Now, a lot of time we just use the text, like text, you type in the text in here, right? Use the text. And then this one, I will talk about later, you can use a photo. Now, when the text, if I select this, I can select what type of font I use, right? And then I just select, whatever font I use, whatever paint, something like this, right? And then the regular, and then how you want to, pretty much like the word processing, and then what color you want. You want to know here, this color, or double check, whatever color that you like. You can use red, green, blue, whatever, right? And this is the color. Now, the next thing, we will go to the size. Now, if I go to the size in here, whatever size I want whatever size, right? And then whatever fit and filled, I don't use it. Now, you can set it all the way down. You see this chart? You can put in the center. You can put it at the bottom, the left, and then the right. Right? And the center left, right. And then let me make it smaller. It's smaller, right? You can do left and the right. And then I can top, left, right. And then usually it's the bottom, whatever, right? Left, right. Now, one thing you need to look at it, if you let me reset it to 0. Now, a lot of them, you can see that they don't know how to offset it. So when you type a name in there, the watermark, it's too close, right? Too close to the edge, to the bottom, too close. If you put it in, too close. Now, you can call inset in here. You can change it. Now you can tell them, all right, I want horizontal. Let me move a little bit to the right. And then the vertical, let me put it up a little bit. You see that? That's how you just change the, right? A lot of them, I can see that they are too tight. They just like tight doing it. And then they might be, you can space bar to space it, but it's too tight. And this is the area you can change it. Right, this is the area you can change. All right, so this is the area. So the font, and then the size, and then where you want to put it, right? And then offset, how you want to offset it, right? Rotate, most of that. Now, the only thing left is called the shadow. Let me see, and then I cancel it. Do I have a? Let me have this watermark, and by delete, and then I add it. Now, let me change the color to red. Now, this is the character of this, right? And then I can make the word 100%. It's a solid, right? And sometimes I make it like 50% or maybe less or something like that. So you don't want the watermark too solid. So it's up to you. You can use it. Now the thing I use a white, I want to show you the shadow, right? You can use the shadow. Why we use the shadow? Because if your watermark is white color, and then the photo have some white stuff in there, so it's hard to see the character. That's why we put a shadow. So I think the default is pretty much like is close to a center or something like that. They will be is that like angle? I see a lot of them. They have the shadow on the top. Is that a problem? No, not really. But for me, I'm thinking to the shadow will on at the bottom. I don't really think the shadow is on the top. So how to change it, right? Now, this is under all these four things. Now the opacity, so how solid you want it, right? So how solid, now if it's like, let me see the radius. If I do the radius to 0, you can see that you get very solid, right? Once you have the opacity, see how solid you want it, and then you offset it. You want to offset it. Now if it's a 0, it's just behind it. You can just offset it. I can just maybe, yeah, a little bit offset it like this. And then now the radius is how you want, no, the radius is how you want to solve it, right? You can solve it like this. Now, if you offset is like in directly behind it, right? You can just offset like this. No, radius like this. See, it's just like a grow of that thing. You can do that, right? If you offset a little bit. Now, the last thing will be the angle. You can see, you can move it. You see that like 360 degree, right? You can move it like this. Now, if I offset a little bit more, the radius a little bit more, you see that? That's how you create the shadow. Okay, so now you can see this pretty much. The way I just fitted the shadow will be like this. It's not like the shadow at the top. Yeah, maybe, I don't know, but no, I would like to have the shadow underneath. You can do this, or maybe here, but the way I like will be like this, shining like this. So this is how we create a watermark. If you think that's what you want, now over here, and then you can save current setting and new. If it's a brand new, you can just say current setting and you give a name, right? And then ABC, yeah, whatever, ABC logo or something like that, right? And then now when you hit done, now you see that there's ABC logo. Now, if you want the ABC logo and then use that edit watermark, now you change something, maybe like the opacity change, right? Now you can say that you can call update present ABC logo. Now you can update it. And then it's done. That's how you create the watermark. All right, so, one last thing. Now, sometimes you just pay somebody to, let me go to ABC logo. Sometimes you may pay someone to do your logo, and it will be like graphic. Instead of letter, you can choose a graphic. I don't know whether I have I think I have one, but I don't know where I put it. Image, whatever. Let's say I use this, right? Now, you can still use this, and you can use this as your watermark, right? And then you see that you can use the watermark. Of course, this is like a photo, but if you just have have somebody write something up for you, like marking or whatever, and then you just save that in a PNG, and then you can use and then you just use the photo as a thing to use as your watermark. You can use a photo, but the photo, if this is solid, you can use a PNG file, will be like transparent. So this is another one. You can create like a picture type watermark. All right, so I guess that's what about for today. And editing, the 3 little item. And then left behind, honestly, Lightroom, there's not much to talk about. I think the one that got left, this is the curve, kind of useful. And I think even Photoshop, a lot of people were using curve to change the brightness and everything. That's part of the other thing. And then the last thing, not the last. And then when we talk about this is the how they call it. I don't know what they call it. I think the would I pop up something? I know it's a combination of the brush and editing. I think it's a touch up, whatever. Oh, it just masking, right? And this is the little bit complicated, a little bit complicated stuff in Lightroom. Is this year they combine everything and make it like a layer type, pretty much like Photoshop, the brush and everything. I think this one probably takes a little bit more time to explain this one, and it's pretty useful. So left behind will be the curve, and then this is the masking tool, and then I can talk about a little bit about the preset, all this preset, how to create it. And that's pretty much for Lightroom. So as of now, any question or something like that, and then you can let me know. All right, so any question today?
Yeah, 我有一个问题，老师，就是 under effects， 我只有 amount light up, all the rest is not light up. So how do I light that up?
What do you mean by light up?
It's dark, it's not white.
Go to the right-hand side will be white.
Let me see.
Yes.
No, I can't. Hold on. Let me see if I can move. When it's white. Oh, okay. All right. So when I move amount, the rest all light up right now. Thank you.
Yeah. 0, the left and the right.
Yeah. No. In the beginning, only the first one is white. All the other one is like completely like black, and I can't move anything. But once I move amount, everything comes up.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. All right.
老师
So, hey, go ahead.
老师，我有一个问题，就关于那个watermark。
Yes， 对。
watermark，是我的照片什么时候我要它有，什么时候让它没有，还是 always have a watermark？
看你的情况。watermark， 如果我给我的朋友相片， 很多时候我就不放这个 watermark. Sometimes your watermark is kind of like mean. 好像真的不想你用我的相片。Right? The watermark just like a trademark. If I give up to like for customer or something like that, sometimes I will have a watermark. And then if they pay me, I just remove the watermark. And then, and I can show, no, I don't know. I have it. And then, because that is, the watermark is pretty much like protect for yourself. Right? If you're for the friends, that's okay. You don't need to worry anything about that. But if you just like, not like BCPA, but if you like a sharing photo or something like that, and then people may be, hey, is that your photo? Is that my photo? How can you prove that it's your photo? So the first thing easy, just put a watermark and to identify. And then if you're for business, sometimes you put a watermark and then you want people to give you credit or something like that. Oh, this is from Carrie, whatever. And if you really just for business, and then you definitely have watermarks. So if I do the approve or something like that, and then no, I don't have that, yeah. But usually I can show you.
那就是说每个 picture 我都要做，就是专门放的 watermark 或者不放 watermark，不是 automatically， 就是说
it depends 那你看现在，如果现在这张相片，如果 hit watermark，我 hit watermark let's say 100% when I export it，它出来的时候只有 watermark，你看那个 see the photo， you see the bottom， the watermark is there， 这是 watermark。同时 watermark it doesn't matter， 如果你选了那么多的相片 when you hit export， when you say hit watermark， every photo will have watermark. And sometimes you can see that, and then if it's like portrait or something like that, let me see. If it's like this one, if I want to send it over for my customer, I don't want them to use it, and then I can use a sample or proof. No, this is pretty much for portrait. I think I might change something. Let me see. Do I have it? No, sample proof. Sample ribbon. Can you see this? That's why if I send it to my customer, I don't want it to use my photo until they pay me. 他们给我钱了，我就 remove it. 如果他们 spend time to Photoshop this one out, go ahead. If they want to use my photo with all this in there, go ahead. They just advertise for me. So that's the purpose of watermark.
那就是在export 的时候，你可以有选择要不要 watermark。
就是你自己了。如果你放着给你的朋友，有些时候我就不放 watermark 了。你给你的朋友的相片，有些时候你不放着上去，好像就是有一点不礼貌，就是好像 it's kind of mean， so 就让他们用了。但是有些时候你拍如果 BCPA 叫你们去拍照，你拍出来你不知道是你的还是我的，还是Paul，所以有些时候我们放个名字 watermark， 我们知道哦，这张相片是你拍的，是我拍的。Right, that's the purpose of the watermark. Right, 所以放也不放，就是你自己的选择。It's up to you.
好，谢谢周老师。
OK.
哎，朱老师，我有一个问题，那个
Yeah.
如果要是不用 Lightroom，直接用那个 Photoshop，可不可以用这个 Transform 和那个你刚才讲的那个？
当然可以了。Photoshop 更厉害。哎 ，Photoshop，我跟这年和 Paul 也说过了，之后如果Lightroom 完了之后，我可以讲一点简单的 Photoshop， 哎 ，Photoshop， 因为 Photoshop 就是 Adobe， 他们的 Transform 更厉害，他们可以将整个人转过来也可以啊。他们一点你看应该这张我看了我就忘记了。So 这有时间我可以让你们看一看。因为 Photoshop spend more time， Photoshop 就是它all the transform in here， 对，因为现在我觉得 screen 改变了 ，unlock no。Lightroom 有个好处就是快一点。那如果你你看 Transform、Photoshop， 他们全部不一样，他们很多功能。Free Transform， put puppet waft， 它能给你将你的手头转过来。Perspective waft 两个不同的，真的可以很多的做了很多的东西了。Yeah. Oh, turn it by mistake. So, any more questions?
谢谢朱老师。
如果没有，就今天就差不多了。
哎，朱老师，我可以再问一个 question， 就和以前的课有关系的，可以吗？
没问题。从前的的课 ，anytime， 如果你可以在群里问我，也可以。什么时候你不明白 ，anytime。